In our world, there is no scarcity. As you desire more, more is created. And there will always be enough. There will always be more than enough. Hey there, it's Agnes. Thanks for being here. I brought my little book of quotes. Whenever I hear a great quote, I write it down. And the one that I heard last week that really stuck to me is from the book of Thomas, and it says, when you bring forth what you have to give, what you bring forth will save you. But if you do not bring forth what you have to give, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. What this quote is saying is that we all have this inner knowing and these sort of intuitive inklings of the things that we think that we should be doing or want to be doing. And sometimes when it doesn't seem realistic or possible to achieve a dream or a vision for ourselves that we have or that we once had in the past, it's easy to push those things to the side and not do them. And you have that little voice that's telling you, like, do that thing, go after that thing. You've always wanted to do this. You've always enjoyed very much doing these things. Get out there and do it. Share your gift and share your mind and share your specialness, your uniqueness, because we all have like our unique flavor of anything that we might want to do. We all put our own creative little flavor on it. And oftentimes what happens is we think like, well, that's already been done, or there's already other people that are better than me at that thing. So I'm not going to do it. And it's not going to matter anyway. It's not going to bring me any type of income, or it's going to be a waste of time, or whatever, like the thought process is. But there's that one little thing that you just keep coming back to, that you keep thinking in the back of your head that I should be doing this. This is what I was put on this earth for. This is what I am good at. This is what I love doing. This is what lights me up when I do it. And then you don't do it. And when you don't do it, it literally chips away at you. And little by little, it destroys you. Little by little, you lose your vision, you lose your spark, you lose sight of what's fun and what makes you happy and what makes you energized. And by not doing the thing that you know is your thing, little by little, we enter into this stage of complacency. And I think that's why a lot of people have like a midlife crisis, because when you're young, everything seems possible. Like I look at my teenagers and there's everything in the world that they think of. It's doable, it's possible. They go after it, they get it, they're having fun. They don't take no for an answer. They try different ways. If it doesn't work one way, they'll try it a different way. They're out there, they're expressing themselves through the way that they dress, through the way, the music that they listen to. They're always expressing themselves. They're always looking for friends and looking for ways to have fun and looking for ways to get outside and get out of the house. And so for kids and for teenagers and for young adults, I think this comes naturally. We naturally do the things that light us up, that bring us joy, that makes us happy. And then somewhere along the line into adulthood, we think, well, I can't do that stuff anymore. That stuff's not practical. Now I have to get practical. Now I have to do the things that will bring me money. I have to go after a career that is going to be a for sure thing, something that is, within the realm of reality of what the people before me have said is possible, what my parents think is possible, what society says it's possible. And it becomes this very like rigid thing. And it starts to get so far away from where we originally started, when we were little, when we were using our imagination to its fullest capacity. And then little by little, we get away from our imagination, we get away from our intuition that is constantly telling us what we should be doing through our thoughts and feelings and emotions. When something feels light and fun and exciting and joyful, that is the thing that our soul wants to do. That is the thing that is pulling us. And when something feels good, that's the step, that's the way. But when it doesn't feel good, when it's a drag, when you do it because you think you should do it, when you do it because somebody told you you should do it and you hate it and you're hating every minute of it, that's not the way, right? So we are constantly being guided through our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, but we don't listen to it. We suppress it, and we, even in our in our modern society, we actually like completely want to suppress all emotions. What we do is we just numb ourselves. So we sit in front of the Netflix, we sit in front of our phone, we scroll our phone, we play a game on our phone, we do some other thing like drugs, alcohol, whatever, to numb the brain. You know what the thing is that is for you, the thing that lights you up, the person that you've always wanted to be. And when you don't show up as that person, you chip away at your lightness, at your excitement. And so, whenever you have this intuition that there are ways that you could bring your unique self into the world through your own personal expression and make a contribution to the world, to the people around you, to your household, to your friends. It doesn't have to be like a worldwide contribution. It can just be very small within your own circle. Like I heard this quote once that said, everybody wants to change the world, but nobody wants to help mom with the dishes. You know, like it starts small. And when we are in our fullest self, in our highest self, in our true self, that is when we have the most to give. We don't have a lot to give when we're feeling down, feeling low, feeling useless, feeling depressed, feeling like we don't see a vision for the future, when we're exhausted, when we're depleted, when we're trying to please people just for the sake of pleasing them. We don't have a lot to give from that level. So the idea is to pour into yourself, lift yourself, bring yourself up to the highest place that you can, and then you give from a place of overflow because you've given so much to the care of yourself, of your soul. You have taken care of yourself. You have taken the time to do the things that make you happy, to think the thoughts that make you happy, to go to the places that you love and do the things that you love. And when you fulfill yourself to that point, then you can give from the overflow. Okay, so it's not a depletion, it's anchoring in to an idea that we live in a completely abundant universe. There is always so much, and there will never not be enough for every single one of us. Every single creature in nature always has exactly enough in any environment that they live, whether they live in a jungle or a desert. There is always enough within that environment where they live for them to thrive. And that this is because nature is completely abundant and it is always providing, it is always giving to us. And when we come from a place of scarcity, so we say, well, I'm not going to do that thing. I mean, I could be nice to that person, but I'm not going to be nice to them because I'm going to meet them at their energy, right? I'm going to meet them where they're at. And this is where we will always end up destroying ourselves when we think that way. Just because they have a low energy or they have, maybe they're just rude. Just because they are that way doesn't mean that you should meet them where they're at. Because if you know that you have more to give, If you know that I don't want to say better than that, because none of us are better than anybody else. Like, we're all the same. We're all reflecting to one another everything that exists within us already, always. But sometimes when we're around somebody that's like, just, they're rude, they're low, they really don't give much, they do the bare minimum, right? And then it's easy for us to say, well, I'm going to do the bare minimum right back because I'm going to meet them at their energy. But this is not what you have to give. And what happens is our universe likes balance. Everything always is in balance. Everything's always a plus and a minus, a negative and a positive. So if you give everything that you know that you can give, and you are the better person, the higher person, right? Even though that other person doesn't match your energy, you're not going to receive your blessings necessarily from that person. If you bless someone, and even if it's just blessing them with your positive thoughts, just thinking a positive thought towards them instead of thinking a negative one, see them in the best possible light that you can see them, even if they're being lousy, even if they're being negative. Try to see them in a positive light. Try to send them a silent blessing. So, but that when you give a blessing to someone else, the blessing will be returned back to you, but not necessarily from that person, not necessarily from that circumstance. So this is sometimes where we get mixed up, because we think like, well, I'm not going to give to them because they don't deserve it. They didn't do it for me, so I'm not going to do it for them. But when you do for them, you will receive it back. You will receive the blessing back, just not from them. So don't expect it from them. Don't think about it. Don't look at don't look at it from the perspective of, well, I did for you, now you give back. You just have to basically bless and release, and know that whatever it is that you are blessing that person with, and when you give to them from the place that you know that you can give to them, from the fullness that you're able to give to them, this will come back to you. And all of the blessings that are going to find you will find you, because there will always be that balance. The universe is always looking for balance. So when you just give, you will receive as well, to balance out all of which you are giving. This also goes for noticing ways in which you can do something a little bit above and beyond, like things that are not your job, but you do them anyway. Like if you're walking along the street and you see a wrapper on the ground, you can pick it up and throw it in the garbage, even though that's not your job, even though you didn't put it there, you're not the one that littered, but you can be the one to bless our world in that way. And when you go places, maybe you see somebody like begging for money, instead of condemning them with your thoughts and thinking like, oh, what a bum, he should do this or he should do that, or he shouldn't be a victim, just send a silent blessing instead, because that is what you can give. Like in this quote, when you give what you can give, you will be blessed. It will set you free. And giving a positive blessing to somebody that is playing a victim is something that you can give. And that is a blessing that will come back to you. So I try to do this a lot. I try to just do like little blessings in my mind. Like when I was getting my teeth done, and I was sitting in the dental chair, and I was just doing like Ho'oponopono prayer, which is the I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And it's just a prayer that you can just do in your mind, that acknowledges that whatever negativity that exists in someone's life, and if you're within the vicinity of that person or of their problem, it is something that exists within you. So it's a reflection. So everywhere that we go, it's everything is a reflection. And when you see somebody being rude, a victim, this and that, and you say, well, how can they be that way? I would never be that way, right? But there is a piece of you that exists that is exactly that way in a different category of life, in not the exact context, but there is an unhealed piece of you that still exists, because if it did not exist, you wouldn't be able to see it in anyone else, or you wouldn't even be able to think it about someone else. So you can play this little game where you just go around your day and you don't even have to tell anybody. Like Wayne Dyer talked about this a lot. You don't even have to tell anybody anything. You just send them a silent blessing. You just, if you're on like Facebook and you see somebody complaining about something, or talking about a challenge or a health challenge, you don't have to offer your advice right away. I used to do this a lot with my with my holistic approach to life, and I have a lot of modalities and I have a lot of things that can help people. And so when they would share like their issues, their problems, I would just want to like give them my advice and give them my solution, because I have solutions for these things. And I realized that it actually pushed a lot of people away, because not everybody is exactly looking for a solution. If they're looking for one, they will ask. But some people are just looking for sympathy. Some people are just wanting to be heard. Some people are identifying in the issue that they have, in the illness that they have. And if you solve that illness for them, you are stripping them of their identity. It's literally them. And so it has to come from them if they wish to change. And just because they're complaining about something doesn't mean that they want your advice. But you can send them a silent blessing. You can see in your mind's eye, you can see them healing and feeling better. And you can send that blessing to them without expecting anything else in return. But you will get things in return, because remember, as I said, the universe likes balance, and everything always has to be in balance. So whatever you give, you will receive back in different ways. And you're not going to be able to pinpoint it. You're not going to be able to say, oh, this great thing happened to me today because of that one thing that I did 2.5 months ago. It doesn't work that way. But if you hold it back and you don't freely, not because you feel like, oh, I don't know, like it's this feeling of, ugh, I guess I better do this. This is my calling. This is my job. This is my work. But give it freely. Give it because you have it to give. And I know I've done this in the past too. Like sometimes I don't know, it's like a silly little example, but sometimes I want to like share a quote to Facebook or something, or to Instagram, right? And sometimes I get inspired with a quote or something that I write, and I just want to share it because it excites me and it's uplifting, and I want to help uplift other people. But other times I'll think of something like that along those lines, and I don't share it. And I just think like, I'm always out there sharing this good stuff, and they don't need to know. They don't need to know the inner workings of my mind. I'm going to just keep this just for me. I'm going to just hoard this. This is just for me to know. And it's like, it comes from a place of scarcity, because it comes from this place. And another thing that I sometimes do is I don't want to share it, because then I'm afraid I won't have a next thing to share, which also comes deeply from a place of scarcity. That you think that if you do the thing, or you share the thing, or you create the thing, or you design the thing, or you paint the art, or you record the video, or you write the blog, or whatever it is, and you think that if I do this, if I complete this project, if I go through with this task all the way through, then what if I don't have any more ideas after that? What if I give my all and then that's it, and there's no more to give? that is so deeply rooted in a place of scarcity that it just doesn't make sense from the higher perspective of things, because in our world there is no scarcity. We live in a world of abundance where there's always enough, and more is created. As you desire more, more is created. And there will always be enough. There will always be more than enough. There will always be another idea. There will always be another project. There will always be other ways in which you can give fully. You can't run out of yourself. You can't run out of yourself. There's always going to be more to give. So catch yourself in these moments where you're finding yourself in scarcity, because it's very, very normal. And I never want you to use the things that I say. I never want to pretend to be like a moral compass for anybody. Every single thing that I discuss on this channel is everything that I have worked through or am currently working through. There is not a perfect person that walks this earth, not a teacher, not a mentor, not a guru, not an author, not anybody. Everybody struggles in different ways, and everybody comes back to a place of remembering once they've once they've gone through the process of uncovering what it is that they need to uncover, what it is that they need to heal, and then they come back into a remembering of truth. When I record these videos, it feels like a remembering. When I listen to like Wayne Dyer or Neville Goddard or some of these other teachers, there's this guy on YouTube, his name is Neuro. You listen to these guys and it feels like a remembering. It feels like a knowing, it feels like truth. But sometimes, as soon as you stop listening, you forget right away. Like I had a conversation with my girlfriend on Valentine's Day, literally because I was getting ready to go out for Valentine's Day dinner with my husband, and I was having a little midlife breakdown because you reach a certain age and things start to look different. Your body looks different. Everything's different. And and I was just kind of saying things about not positive. I wasn't positive, right? And she was like, "Do you listen to your own videos?" And my husband says that to me sometimes too. Do you need to listen to your own videos? So this is why I say I am not here to serve as a moral compass. I am not here to make it seem like I'm perfect or like I always am this like enlightened, meditated, just giving freely and fully, and I'm always smiling and I'm always happy, and because it's just not true. And when we come here to this world, we come here under a veil of forgetfulness. It's our job to unearth and dig up all of these different things so that we can come back into remembering. But we're here to forget. If we came here with the knowledge and the remembering of our full power of every single thing that we're capable of creating, then we would have no work here. We would have no reason to be here because we would just instantly manifest everything that we want. But we come here and we have these relationships, and we come here to experience polarities. We come here to experience both sides of the coin, and all events and all dramas and all arguments and all places where we find ourselves when we're just not in a good place are an opportunity to come back into our remembering, are an opportunity to heal. And so if you hear someone speaking about something that is causing you to have a remembering, that is causing you to reflect on your personal greatness, on your light, on your power, know that it is you that is being reflected in those person's words, thoughts, or ideas. It is not that that person is so perfect and so great and so amazing that you need to strive to be like them, or that you need to think any less of yourself. It's not that at all, because that person is not that perfect and not that amazing. But that person may have said something positive in a moment of enlightenment. We all have these moments of enlightenment. We all have these moments where we feel light. We all have these points in our lives where we feel full and whole. And from that place, we can share and allow others to see their personal fullness and wholeness as a reflection. It's just a reflection. If you see something great within another person, that is a reflection of your own greatness. If you see power, that's a reflection of your own power. And it goes the other way too. When you see stuff that's not so great, that's a reflection of something that resides within you that you're not so fully accepting of right now. And maybe it needs to be healed, or maybe it just needs to be accepted. Not everything needs to be healed. Some parts of us just need to be accepted. But I wanted to throw that little disclaimer up there because gosh, I just love making these videos so much. I just love them. Like, even if 2 people watch, I love making them. I love the process of recording. I love talking about this stuff. I love learning about this stuff. I love listening to this stuff. But sometimes I get mixed up in my own head because, there's this level of perfection that you find yourself striving for when you get into this type of content, when you get into this type of material. You find yourself just wanting to be perfect all the time. But if you can remember that we're actually here not to be perfect, but we're here to explore all the different sides of all the different topics and find healing and find acceptance and find ourselves and find ways in which we can thrive and basically shed our fullness, our highest spirit, our highest way of being, and shed it upon others so that they can see their highest fullness, most powerful selves in our reflection. I think that's what we're here for. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, nobody knows the real purpose of any of it. But I know that when I'm doing this, specifically this, what I'm doing right now, I know that I feel like I'm in my fullest, highest place. And that's why I continue to do it. And when I'm not doing it, I don't feel great. So I know that there is a force pulling me in this direction. But it's me that's second guessing and thinking it's not good enough, or thinking that, my mood's not high enough on a certain day, or whatever it is. It's me that's fighting it. So it's this idea of just surrendering into the things and activities that that feel good to you. Find places where you can give, where you can bless and send your blessings on others. And then forgive yourself and others all the time. Always forgiving, always, always, always forgiving. That's why in the Ho'oponopono prayer, it says, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. Gratitude always, always for the reflection, for the circumstance, for the opportunity to grow. But forgiveness and saying I'm sorry and asking for forgiveness is pivotal, because we all have places where we need to forgive others and where we need to forgive ourselves. And it's in those places where we don't forgive ourselves that we hold ourselves back and we punish ourselves. And little by little, we chip away at the joyfulness that we could be experiencing every single day of our lives.